Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed that video. It's 6:59, so gotta be starting here in a few minutes, or actually in a few seconds, I should say. I'm gonna go ahead and give Charles a mic here, and then I'll introduce him, and we'll be ready to get going here. Okay, so right at first here, for people that are new and haven't been to this webinar, welcome. Whoever is new, whoever invited you, please join under them. That's the whole purpose of this webinar, is to have one big happy family. And at this point in time, I'd like to welcome our famous Charles Scoville and have him talk to you, and I'm sure he'll answer many questions before you even ask him. Charles, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Welcome everyone to the webinar tonight. Thanks for everything that you guys are doing out there. I know that AHP Profits is really turning into quite the place to be, and I know that's not just because of something that I'm doing, because I'm hardly doing anything at all, I feel like, other than just answering support tickets and sending out payments and just keeping things going down here. It's you guys that are making AHP Profits incredible. In fact, I actually just read some reports today, and even one of these leaders that was calling me today was even passing this on and saying that AHP Profits right now is ranked #1 in how fast payouts are going and the fastest growing opportunity right now. I don't know where he's getting these numbers or where he got that report, but it was really neat to see that. And I know that, I mean, I'm promoting pretty strongly, but I know that a lot of you guys are. In fact, I'm hearing a lot of people actually going outside of their comfort zone and recruiting up because they know that this opportunity is something that works, and that the services and the products and everything that we're offering is something that's of high value. So as they're saying, hey, look, this advertising really works. We're seeing some more advertisers coming on board. In fact, today there was someone who was so excited about the static advertisement. They purchased it, but unfortunately there was some kind of glitch, so they got a credit back, and we'll have that fixed by tomorrow. But tomorrow is also something that I want to let you guys know of, that AHP Profits is going to be releasing our forum. So as you're seeing at the top of the page there where it says Home, How It Works, Directory, FAQs, soon, tomorrow, you're going to see Forum as one of the options, not only for the public area, but you'll see a forum option from within the members area. And so you'll be able to see the site news and interact and be a community inside of the forum, as well as be able to post new opportunities or things that you're involved in inside of the forum, just like Moneymaker Group or Talk Gold or any of the other forums out there. But the distinct difference here with AHP Profits is that when you're involved with one of these other forums, it comes down to whoever's first. Here at AHP Profits, it's that you'll actually be able to post even if you aren't first. You just have to then pay for the post, and it's $45 to post a new post inside of the forum if you're wanting to get the word out. And so that's going to be something that's very similar. And if you're familiar with Moneymaker Group, typically those types of people who post in that forum have hundreds of referrals in whatever opportunity that they are launching that topic. So when you launch that topic, you're paying $45. So hopefully that helps you build whatever opportunity it is that you're in. And that's kind of the goal there. But also the great goal there with this is it will be increasing the amount of revenues that we'll be sharing with all of you guys. And it'll also, I believe, give greater value to the exposures of the banners, as people are going to be spending a little bit more time possibly inside of the forum reading and interacting, that those banner spaces will be seen a lot more, especially since we're already hovering and going above and beyond what some of these other forums and groups are currently as far as with traffic, we're beating their Alexa traffic rank. So I really believe that what we're going to be seeing here is that with adding the forum into AdHit Profits, is that it'll add additional strength to our longevity. I mean, I believe that AdHit Profits, how it is right now, has the ability to last for years to come. But building in the forum is something that will then add additional strength and stability and make it so that there's a whole lot more value, not just to our advertisers, but also to our membership as a whole. Now, I received an email from Sonia, as she has been out there collecting a lot of different questions. So what I want to do is touch on some of those. So will it cost to post a topic? Yes, Luther, it will. If you're posting a topic as far as with, there's actually going to be a few different areas. One is going to be a news area. There's going to be places for members just to interact and talk. But in the areas where they're releasing maybe something new, then yes, you're going to need to pay for that topic, but you won't have to pay to respond. So if there's something good and you're releasing it, then other people can be sharing their comments and can be discussing that, and there can be more of a community as people are sharing and expressing opinions or what they think or their experiences, maybe posting payment proofs, all these types of things to add to the value of AdHit Profits. Any other questions about the forum? Let me scroll up and see if there are any. And so you've probably already noticed that there's been a couple of additional banner areas. Where can I buy a topic? Lois, when you're inside of the forum, you'll see that you can click and then start a topic, and then after you post, there'll be a payment button. And then when you make the payment, then your post will be viewed live. Until you make the payment, only you would be able to see it. That's right, the forum is going to go live tomorrow. And Neon, what are your two major questions? How long are you going to be able to keep up with the workload on myself? That's one of the main reasons for the forum is the support desk. My goal with this is actually, instead of having there be the support tickets, how it is now, is it'll then transfer over to the forum, where there's going to be a support area inside the forum where people can ask questions and hopefully first read the responses in there. Because a lot of times people are asking very similar things, and by first reading, you'll probably be able to find or solve your questions before having to even ask. Will there be an upgraded membership in the forum? No, there won't be anything like that. I don't see any need to have there be an upgraded version of the forum, because it's a pay-per-post type of a forum already, so I don't think there's going to need to be anything like that needed. When payments become automated, will they be processed as fast as me? Well, if they were automated, they would actually be a lot faster, because right now there is, if I'm asleep, of course, then there's a little bit of a delay, but if it's automated, then it'll definitely be a lot faster, a lot less of a wait for some of the people who are in different parts of the world. So it'll definitely be faster. That was a good laugh. Will share the revenue from the forum? Absolutely. All of the purchases that will be coming through the forum, that's kind of the main reason for the forum, is going to be to increase the value of the advertising, which will hopefully increase more purchases of the advertising, so it'll give us more stability. Meaning, as people have expressed their concern, one of the concerns some people have is when we reach such a large size, then will the advertising purchases be enough to support all of the people and keep everyone earning at a pretty decent rate per day? That's where this is coming from, is to hopefully be well ahead of the game, so that when we do get to be that large, then the advertising purchases will already be there to support and give everyone the amount of money that they want to be making in this opportunity. No, there's no payment to reply, Joe, just to start the topic. And it'll be very similar to how the directory is set up right now, is when someone wants to open up a new topic, let's say in multi-level marketing, their topic will appear first, and any previous posts will then be pushed down. So if they want to keep the top position when someone else posts, then they can repurchase and bump their listing back to the top. And the forum will be able to be accessed by non-members as well. And so when a non-member wants to maybe participate, if they click on the reply button, it'll direct them to the sign up area. Which means, now that you're bringing this up, this actually reminds me that what you can do is go to the forum, and then at the end of the forum, put that upside down, here, I'll not upside down, but so when the forum is there, what you'll do is put the little question mark and then ref equals username. So you can actually use the forum as a tie-in if you want to refer people, and they get to the forum. Maybe you have a hot topic that you want to bring to people's attention. If you put that at the end of the link, then you'll actually be referring people to the site. If they decide that they want to sign up from the forum, then you'll get that referral. Will you need any admin supervising the forums? Good question. I've been asking around to see how many admins are in other forums. It really depends on the size of the forums. Just starting out, we've got a number of people who have been volunteering, but I'm kind of holding off on any volunteers until I kind of see how things go with I've been asking my moderators that are in the Skype groups, and so far those that I've been speaking with have been saying yes, they want to be in there as well as a moderator. So we'll kind of play that by ear. I mean, I found out that one of the larger forums out there has about 3 moderators. So I don't know how many we're going to need. But definitely, since there's much more traffic to this one, who knows, we might need to have a little bit more moderators than just 3 or 4. But we'll kind of play that by ear as time goes on, for sure. You think that non-members should pay to register? I don't really feel that they're going to need to register. Definitely, they would need to pay if they want to post. As far as when it comes to spamming, that's not going to really be too much of an issue, because if they decide to post, it goes through. All posts will first need to be approved at first before they're made live, just to prevent the spamming, just like what you're saying.
Hey, Charles.
And it might not be. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, I think
Yes.
they're not understanding about the topic. I think they don't understand as far as the topic they start will have the referral link. That's why they're paying. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, that's basically the main reason why when we want to open up one of those topics. And that's kind of like what it's like in Talk Gold or Moneymaker Group. If you get there first, then you're going to be getting, a lot of referrals. In a lot of cases, hundreds of referrals when it comes to getting to the Moneymaker Group first. So that's why you're paying to start the thread of any opportunity. And then if it gets bumped down, then you'll want to push it back up. And that will then cost more. And kind of the whole idea with AdHit Profits to begin with was to be, kind of like one of these forums or monitors or solo advertising websites that just bank in all this money and it goes straight to the owner of those websites. And if you're familiar with any of those forums, you'll see the kind of pricing on the banners that are there. and you'll see how much a sticky is. I know that one of these, I went to like one of these Russian websites and I was asking them, hey, how much is a sticky? It's $300 for a month to have your listing show up first. And what's interesting is they'll charge it to a lot of different people, and so you might have a sticky, but so do 10 others. You know, and so you're paying to have a sticky, but you're actually kind of low on the totem pole. So you might not even be noticed first. So with this, just $45, you'll be ranked top on that listing there, and then if you get pushed down, then just another $45 more will then get you pulled up. So my mic keeps cutting out. Is that happening for anyone else? All right, good. Some things that are coming up. There are quite a lot of programs out there, and I think that all of you know about a lot of things that are going on inside of the industry right now. And right now there's a lot of programs and opportunities that are falling, mainly because they've lost Liberty Reserve. There's a lot of other opportunities that already stopped paying for months or weeks, and people are starting to say, you know what, it's time to find something that's actually paying. And right now there's a lot of buzz about ad-hit profits that's paying very fast. And so there's a lot of people that are saying, let's take a look at ad-hit profits. And some of these groups, like Banner's Brokers, there's a number of groups that were in Banner Broker who have been waiting to get paid. I don't mean to name any other opportunities, but same thing with another popular revenue share out there. That's not really a revenue share. They've got a percentage daily, and I think you all know what that one is. If you don't, then I'm sorry. Just stay away from anything that says percentage daily. I would probably recommend if it's a revenue share. But anyway, there's a lot of programs that are not paying right now, or there's a lot of delays, or they're not sure. There's a lot of uncertainty, and because of these other programs, there's big leaders that have been contacting me directly. And okay, right. There's a number of leaders that's got some really big teams in these other opportunities who have been contacting me directly. One of these leaders has a very large team in Just Been Paid. They had a group about 15,000 people in Just Been Paid. And each of those affiliates had quite a bit because they had a replicatable system, and they trained their people, so they're very good leaders. And so that's the thing with some of these leaders is they've gained a lot of respect throughout their people. So there's some kind of clicks. Someone of my team missed his clicks. Well, first, before we get to questions and answers, let me continue with some of this news of what's going on here. Next Wednesday, I was just told that this big team from Just Been Paid is going to be launching with ad-hit profits. So we're going to be seeing a lot more people getting involved from that group. I've also been receiving word from one of these big leaders within Banner Brokers who is coming over with their big group. He's actually launching one of these type of hotel type of meetings in the UK, and he's got about 100 of his leaders, top leaders, that are coming to that meeting. And with that kind of a group, all of these leaders themselves have huge followings, and they're all looking to bring all of their people, and some of them have already started, and I think that some of these big boosts that you've been experiencing these last few days have been coming in because of these Banner Broker folks that are really getting started with their marketing campaigns. So there's some real excitement going on here at ad-hit profits, some big teams. This is starting to become one of the premier opportunities out on the internet. I just had a nice interview earlier today with someone who's involved in a number of opportunities, and he says that by far in the last 5 years being online, AdHit Profits is by far the best opportunity he's ever been involved in. And he's been given great accolades about the traffic that's been delivered through his referral links to other programs, that he's actually generated some real good leads and actually started making more money in these other opportunities because of the traffic that's coming in through his links. So that just means to me that, I mean, that's nothing I could have done. You know what I mean? That just means that we've got some really good members that are taking action out there. And I think that probably goes a lot to say, you know, with AdHit Profits, because people have money in their pockets, they're actually able to spend some money in some other opportunities. And I definitely encourage you to get involved in as many opportunities as you can. You know, the more that you have, the more streams of revenue that you have, the better things can be for you. If you focus on just one opportunity, and I don't mean to say this like there would be anything wrong with AdHit Profits, but in general, the more baskets you have, the better. I really see with AdHit Profits, this is going to be something that is going to be around for years and years to come. But no one knows how long we're going to be seeing such great revenues to be sharing with everyone. So you definitely want to get involved in as many as you can. And if you're promoting AdHit Profits to AdHit Profits members, I definitely recommend finding something, anything, even if it's just to promote your own blog, your own leadership, create a website for yourself, brand yourself, so that when you gain some signups and leads to your own team, your own group, that you'll at least have some people follow you into something else when or if you decide to join anything else outside of AdHit Profits, but at least take advantage of the advertising services that you're paying for. I'm muted again, and now I'm back. I've heard that it might be that you might need to leave the room and then come right back in, and that sometimes that can kind of reset any kind of audio issues. I know that happened with me last week. I wasn't hearing any audio, and then I had to leave and come back, leave and come back until I could hear it. But then that worked for me. But those are some great stats that you're seeing there on the screen with Alexa ranking. I discovered that some of our tracking wasn't being tracked because of the new SSL certificate that was installed. So I believe that there's been some fixing done with that. So hopefully going forward, I know there were some people that were concerned about some dips in the traffic, and I think that a lot of that had to deal with, if you look at the date of when it started dropping, that was when our SSL certificate was installed. I know that there were some people that were still unable to see the site for a day or two afterwards. So right now, just taking a look at the last 24 hours on AdHit Profits, we've had 159,825 unique visitors. And of those visitors, there's been a total of 674,093 page views today. And that's just phenomenal. I mean, when you start to look at that many page views, what you're looking at is just $12. $12 to place a banner up in front of all of those people. I mean, this is huge value. I tested out our banner service promoting something myself, spent the real money, and so it was shared with everybody. And I was actually kind of blown away, to be quite honest with you, how many clicks I got. I mean, I've heard people say these types of things too. So what I wanted to do is actually pull up exactly. I'm just pulling up the website that I promoted, because inside the website itself, it tells me how many clicks I got. So let me pull that up here real quick. I mean, I've heard people say these types of things about the advertising, and when I tried it out myself, I was frankly blown away. Alright, so I've got the stats pulled up. So I left the banner on there for just 24 hours, and I had a total, let me see here, the total of 218 clicks, and of those clicks, 101 of them were unique, meaning they were different people completely. And so with that many clicks coming through, I mean, for just $12 on a 125 by 125 ad, I mean, that's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. So if you haven't tried out our advertising services, there's a lot more value to what we're offering than just a making money opportunity off of the revenue share. There's some real service behind that packs a punch. In fact, there's a lot of people who say that they've never experienced better advertising anywhere else. And so when I kept getting that kind of response to our banner advertising, that's where the banner that we have created for promoting Ad Hit Profits is saying it's the most responsive banner advertising. And it really has proven to be that way, even for myself. With this banner advertising promoting this other business, and just taking a look at my downline within this, and I just for straight testing purposes, I didn't advertise anywhere else. So I could really get a good feeling on how well this is. I actually got 3 referrals. 2 of them actually paid. I am just blown away from just advertising on Ad Hit Profits. So there's some real results. I am just astounded. I was expecting probably, maybe some clicks, but not just the clicks, but actual sign-ups and paid. And one of the people who signed up sponsored 17 people. So I just am blown away. There's some real value here. I am just amazed. So, I mean, if you haven't used our advertising services, I definitely highly recommend them. I mean, and as I've been sharing our advertising services with other website owners and admins and program owners, things like that, I feel very confident in what I'm offering at the prices that are actually cost savings from the advertising services that they would be spending on some of these forums out there. So, I mean, I really feel very confident in what I'm offering and what's being sold here in the way of banner advertising to those that are coming to our website. I really feel grateful for all of you guys' clicks on those too. And I know that we've got a lot of people who are not involved in Ad Hit Profits, who are just visitors who are clicking on those. So, I mean, this is some really good stuff. Now, one thing I want to touch upon, again, is just how grateful I am for all of you guys making Ad Hit Profits, just how great it is, and how people are talking about how fast payouts are going. It's because you guys are entering in correct payment details. It's so amazing. I've heard of some of these other program owners say the reason why they have such delays is because people are putting in wrong information. So people that are submitting requests for Solid Trust Pay, they're putting in their Solid Trust Pay username. Perfect. That means that when I go ahead and process that payment, it goes to you. There's people that are entering in for Payza. They're putting in their Payza email. Perfect. For Easy Bonds, they're putting in their Easy Bonds account number. So, I mean, that makes it so I can process those payouts quickly and efficiently. And it's accurate. So it's going to the right place. So I just really love that you guys are cooperating with how the system works. I guess there's not really any other way to put that, but you guys are in full collaboration with making sure that if you want to get paid fast, you're going to put in the right information. So thanks for making it easy on me, you guys. Really. I mean, nothing is easier than just going ahead and processing those payouts and having it go exactly the right place. And you might be right there, Luther. Maybe they're just making up excuses. I just kind of look at that and just say, I haven't experienced that myself. I think that people, by and large, want to get paid, and so they put in the right information. So thank you for that. One of the things I bumped into today, I was helping somebody get into their back office, and they had logged in from home, and then they went to a coffee shop or something, and they logged in from the coffee shop, but it asked them to verify their IP address. Now, just a little disclaimer here. If you're stupid, don't use the IP protection. So in other words, if you're a smart person, please use the IP protection. There are so many hackers out there on the internet who know that we're paying and who might be able to see your username out there, maybe if you're promoting, or maybe they see it on the proof page. Be very careful. Use the IP protection, please. And if you're using the IP protection, please be smart about it. I found out that one of the common problems with the IP protection is that when they're logging in, they're entering in their transaction PIN. Don't do that. Please just log in using your username and password. You can adjust the IP protection on the account details page. You go straight down right next to where you enter in your processor details, and you can turn on IP protection, and this will keep your account protected and only be able to allow you to log in. And what can sometimes alarm people is that our system is tracking very meticulously. So if your internet service provider is changing your IP just even a little bit, and I know that some internet service providers, they have static IPs, meaning that the IP is staying exactly the same, or it's kind of on some kind of a rotation. So if you're logging in from your home computer with your home internet service provider only, right, Ryan, because that means that anyone who logs in elsewhere, if it's not you, they're going to be blocked out, because they're going to have to first verify that they're you by logging into your email. Now, that's kind of the caveat with this IP protection, is it's verifying your new login through your email. So if the hacker also has access to your email, then they also have access to your account. So be very careful. I highly recommend using a strong anti-spyware, anti-malware service. I have found personally that you don't have to necessarily even pay for it. Let me post a couple of links here for you on what I personally use, and they have saved me a lot. I run them. You know how people say wash your hands before you eat? I recommend washing your computer before you log in to anything that has to deal with money. If you're logging into your payment processor, go ahead and clean your computer. Make sure that these hackers do not have your login information. If you're logging into your email address, if that's how your payment processors are verifying you, make sure that you're cleaning your computer before you log in. A lot of times people stay logged in with their email, and that's fine. But if you're logging in and because what these hackers have are something called keyloggers. And what a keylogger does is it captures your keystrokes. And so one other thing that I would also recommend is if you're entering in your password, have it saved to like a text file. Have your text file brought up and just do a copy and paste. That'll make sure accuracy for yourself when you're entering in passwords, but also will ensure that these keyloggers will not be able to capture your password when you're typing them in, because you're not typing it, you're just copying and pasting. What's the best for Mac? I don't really have an answer for you on that one, Carlos. If they don't have Mac versions for either one of these links that I posted, I've also heard that with Macs that since it is closed code, that there's a lot fewer viruses out there. And a lot of the viruses and malware that are out there don't affect Macs anyway, I've heard from Mac users. So that might be true, and if it is, then great. If it's not, then you might want to do a Google search on what's going to work best for you on a Mac. Or speak with other Mac users who might have some great tips for you. But these keyloggers are no joke, and you really want to protect yourself, because people are recognizing that AHP Profits pays and that we pay fast. So once when they log in, if you got a balance over $10 and they withdraw, then your money's gone. And there's been just very small situations where we've been able to go ahead and request those funds be returned from the processor, and they've been able to do that. But don't count on that, because not always can we. So just always keep a watch on your account. Make sure that you're not having any problems. Another thing to be very aware of with IP protection is something called RoboForm. Anything that automatically fills in your username and password, that is a good way to keep things secure, as far as from what I've been able to understand. Now, as far as though with those types of things, there's been some people who, with the IP protection, when they're logging in with their username and password, the RoboForm is changing the information that's down below with the security pin and the new IP address. So it's not allowing them to log in from their new IP because it's changing that information to something else. So keep an eye on that. Maybe disable the RoboForm if you're logging in from a new IP. That can certainly help you avoid the headache of being told repeatedly that you can't reset your IP. I was helping someone today that was exactly the problem. And so when they were being told that they were entering in the wrong password, they reset their password and they went to their email, got the new password, logged in, then it was telling them that they were logging in from a new IP. They went to their email, got their they clicked on the new link, and then the RoboForm was entering in their old username and password. I mean, of course, it'd be their same username, but their old password. And so it kept telling them again and again that they couldn't change their IP, and they were feeling really frustrated until they recognized, oh, I just reset my password. So if you reset your password on top of the IP protection, make sure that you're using the new password instead of what the RoboForm might be entering in for you. For the most part, though, people who have used a fresh login and gone to their fresh link in their email immediately, clicked on it and logged in, they've been able to get right in without any kind of problem at all. So that pretty much takes care of all of the frequently asked questions that I might want to go over. Other than people that are coming in just new are wondering, what's going on with Facebook? I can't share on Facebook. Well, I believe what has happened is soon after launch, there was quite a lot of excitement about this opportunity, this program, and people were going crazy on Facebook. And some people, there's that button that you can flag for spam on Facebook. Somebody must have been just too overzealous, or maybe just too many people clicked the spam report spam link. One way or another, here's one way that you can share AdHit Profits on Facebook with your friends or in groups on Facebook to help you grow your downline there. Here's another one that can certainly help. There's a lot of really great programs out there that have been banned on Facebook. And Facebook, if you're familiar with them at all, with their support, I mean, of course, how many members are, I mean, how many people are a part of Facebook, members and people that are signed up? So many that they just don't even handle support tickets. You can kind of give them some feedback that they might be able to use for the future, but they're not going to ever unblock adhitprofits.com as being marked as spam. And some people misread spam as scam, and it kind of makes them worried. So make sure that you are sharing AdHit Profits using another type of service that's going to completely mask our website, because it's just being blocked on there. And of course, everyone who's been a part of AdHit Profits knows that we pay, and that we pay fast, and so certainly not a scam at all. You're very welcome. Now, as far as then, I want to kind of switch gears. Like I said, there was this woman, I don't know if she's in here, I don't see her, maybe scrolling down, Sonia. I don't see Sonia in here, but there's a few people who know her, and maybe that's who SS is from United Kingdom, I don't know. But she put together a list of questions that she has been kind of asking around, and well, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of questions. So one of the things that people say, or this is one of the things that's on this list, is people jump to the conclusion that the business is yet just another Ponzi or pyramid scheme. What's the catch? So to preface this question, I kind of want to explain what a Ponzi is. A Ponzi is anything that offers, well, first of all, it has to be an investment opportunity. And that right there shows you that AdHit Profits is not an investment opportunity. Nowhere on the website does it say invest or investment. But not only that, but with a Ponzi, there's something called interest. AdHit Profits also has nowhere on the site talking about interest. We're not offering interest, not at all. We're sharing revenues up until a maximum share ratio. There is not interest. So that's definitely something that is another key giveaway. Ponzi means that you are paying interest earned from new investments. So that would be something like a lot of these high yield investment plans who are claiming that they're using some kind of outside source. Maybe they're trading metals or trading on the Forex or something, and they're raising money, and then within a certain amount of months then they disappear. Well, the reason why they were disappearing is because they were actually paying the interest being earned on accounts from new investments. And so the payouts were just coming from new people paying in that kind of a model. AdHit Profits is different because, like I said, it's not an investment opportunity. It is a business. It's a real business where you're actually buying service, high value service, and that in return for your purchase, you are actually receiving a directory position, a directory post, a listing there, as well as 1,000 visitors to your website. And the great thing about those visitors is they're proven buyers, because the people who are going to your website have also paid at least $45 to get involved with AdHit Profits. So these are high valued visitors that some have said, I would have paid $45 for the leads that I got in my business, hands down. You know, some of these people buying leads through lead companies are spending over $300 and haven't gotten anywhere near as powerful of leads as they've gotten through their directory listing as they've been building using their lead capture pages. So that's something that right there alone, you know this is of high value because the service is actually delivering something for real, rather than some of these other Ponzi's. You don't get anything for your money, and unless you're one of the lucky ones who were able to get your seed money out, as some people call it, fast, and be able to compound your earnings, which is actually just that you're building up from what other people are paying in. So that's where with AdHit Profits, as you are making repurchases and getting more and more shares, you're actually splitting in more and more revenues. You're getting more and more pieces of the pie, so to speak. This is real revenue that people are buying, real ad service that's delivering real results. And so there's so many people out there that are very happy with their services here at AdHit Profits because it's not a Ponzi, and that they're actually getting something for their money. That when they're buying something, it's not just that they're buying the opportunity to make money off of the purchase, is that they're actually getting valuable service. So that's something as far as when it comes to a Ponzi scheme. Now, a pyramid scheme is the same type of thing. Is pyramid schemes are schemes where you sell basically to make money. You're not selling anything, no product, no service. All you're selling is the ability to make money if someone turns around to then sell that product or service of nothing. So with AdHit Profits, if you do sell our services, people are actually getting something for their money. So that's where, again, this is not a pyramid scheme. And even you can make money without selling anything at all, just by simply clicking your 10 ads every single day. You'll continue to receive an actual split in revenues. And that's one of the great things about AdHit Profits that distincts between any Ponzi, because as Ponzi, like I said, because it is paying interest from new investors, if everyone cashed out their earnings, if everyone cashed out, it would crash the system. There would be no money. It would not be enough. And I think that's one of the reasons why you're seeing that happen with some of these other opportunities out there that are having payout delays, as they promise you to double your money or as they promised a certain percentage daily. Those have been probably proven Ponzi because the very aspect that they've not been able to pay, and they've been giving you some kind of interest or some kind of dividend that they've not been able to back up. First, with ad hit profits, the money comes in, then the money is dispersed to your account. So if you've got money on your account, it's available for withdraw, period. If everyone withdrew all at once, it might take a minute for me to process all those requests, but and at that point, then I'd probably want to turn on instant withdrawals. But it would just be another business day around the office here at Ad Hit Profits. Everyone would be paid because the money is real. That's on your account. And that's why if you make a repurchase using your balance, it's absolutely real. There's been some people that say, how can you do that? Because I know that with these other opportunities, if I repurchase, then there's not commissions that are offered to my sponsors from purchases from my balance. Because in those other opportunities, that money's not real probably. But with Ad Hit Profits, we're able to offer the same exact pay structure with the compensation to sponsors, as well as splitting those profits up among all of the people, because that money is real. I am still doing all of the withdrawals manually. I have added additional, I would say, modifications, some innovations to expedite and speed up those payouts, so they're kind of semi-automatic in a way, but certainly as time moves forward, we'll be able to kind of gauge things and see if we need to turn it on to be instant. And if that's the case, then I'll just blow people away. I think that I was talking with a leader just the other day who said, when we reach 50,000, instead of having there be delays, 50,000 paid members, instead of having there be any delays, it would probably be a time that I'd turn it on instant. And I think that would really astound people as they're just wondering, things are running real smooth now as we're small, but what if we grow to 50,000? Or when we reach 100,000 people, how easily will things be able to be processed at that time? And it would probably not be processed by me manually when we get that large. Dylan, what is your question? That should be it's not an investment at all. That's right. I just got scammed 3 times. Right? I definitely want to make sure, there's no touchy subject. Please feel free to ask any question that you have. And that's probably true, Lois, or Lewis. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Lewis. But you're right. It's not so much of a what if, but when at this point. Do we earn the 125% faster when more and more members join? Basically, how this works is all of the revenues are being split. So yes, that does include the additional purchases of more listings. So those would be more shares. But I believe that as we have more and more people coming to the site, we're actually going to attract more and more advertisers. So I truly believe that as we have more and more attraction to the site, more and more people, that's where building in a forum will help people stick and stay on the site longer and interact more as a community, which will again attract more and more advertisers. And at that point, when, again I should probably say, we're going to switch over to a pay-per-click advertising model, meaning that instead of paying for a day or a week or a month for advertising, people would be paying maybe 5 cents, 25 cents. And I think that at first it would probably be just a set cent or a set price per click. But at some point, maybe going forward, it would be more of a bid for your click. How high or how much do you value that click? And if you get outbid, then you don't get those clicks. You'd have to raise your bid. So those types of things would come in the future as we grow really large. This is just to make sure that as we have a really large membership base, that not only do members continually earn well, but also that the results can continually be delivered through the advertising services offered on the website. Would that bid money be put? Yes, that's the whole point with all of this. It would be certainly everything coming in, every single sale in the forum or on the site, anything is being shared with everybody. There's not a sale that comes through that's not being split with everybody. In fact, even additionally, outside of sales, right now, Easy Bonds is a payment processor that was recently added. Easy Bonds, if you're not aware of that processor, they actually have a share structure in of themselves. So what that does actually is, as they have a processor fee or a transaction fee, that's actually being shared with all of you guys. So as anyone's making a purchase with Easy Bonds or making a withdrawal with Easy Bonds, an additional 25 cents goes in to the share pool. So hopefully, as time goes forward and people start to experience some really great things with Easy Bonds, you'll be able to see that Easy Bonds is kind of the way to go. And I actually have an Easy Bonds representative from over there, actually higher up in the company. One of their owners, I believe, is going to be coming onto one of our next webinars. And if it's not going to be one of the owners, then it's going to be one of their staff, who is not just one of their reps, but someone who's actually in their corporate headquarters in Australia. Will be coming in and explaining the benefits to you all for getting involved in Easy Bonds, not just from a convenience factor for you, faster money to your bank, better savings because it's a flat fee, it's only $2, as opposed to if you're exchanging through any of the other processors, there's a 3.5% type of a percentage, and so that typically is going to be more than $2 on many of the people's withdrawals and purchases. So you can save some money, add some greater convenience, get it straight to your bank faster. And I know that some of the people that have been testing it out have bumped into Easy Bonds, have been changing over to a new clearinghouse. And so some of those withdrawals are taking a little bit longer than what were expected, or some of those purchases are going a little bit slower than what were expected. But definitely compared to Solid Trust Pay or Payza, they're still either matching at their speed or beating them still by a day or two. Is there a chance of going to a 2-level referral commissions? The goal really with AdHit Profits is just to stay with a 1 level so that we're not multi-level marketing at all, because I know that multi-level marketing is a turnoff for a lot of people. So I want to keep it just as an affiliate thing. But one of the great things about how this works is, let's say you start building a team and you have some people on your 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th levels, however far deep that you go. You start to see that in your back office as you start to grow really deep and wide. What you start to see actually is a chain reaction, because as those on your bottom level are now purchasing revenue shares or services, the people now above them are purchasing the shares or services, and it keeps going upwards and then lands on you. So you start to see kind of some additional things. So 1 level is something that I want to keep at, mainly for a few different reasons beyond the multi-level marketing aspect. One aspect is for security. There's definitely a lot of tricksters out there. Keeping it 1 level helps make sure that we can catch them and eliminate them. Another thing about this is it additionally keeps more revenue available to share with everyone. I mean, the real goal with this AdHit Profits is really to be online for years to come, and I think that if we thin out the amount that we share across the board and just only share it with those that are referring, then we will see that maybe some people might give up who haven't yet sponsored anyone. With it keeping at 1 level, we're actually seeing people who have never sponsored anyone before experience some real results, and it's actually making it easier for them to turn around and sponsor more people and get them involved in AdHit Profits, because they're seeing some things actually happen on their account. So I really believe that this is something that can really keep this moving forward long into the future. $1 raffles for banner space, not a bad idea. There's definitely been a different idea. Somebody was mentioning an idea of adding merchandise such as T-shirts, mugs, pens, having a T-shirt that says something like "I am AdHit Profits" or "just bump" or something. Just some type of catchy phrase that that people can have on their shirts or mugs or something to get started with. And definitely, what we want to do is make sure that are completely we want to make sure that we're meeting all of those types of things, and actually had a pretty decent conversation with a compliancer yesterday, or was it the day before? These days kind of all melt together now, but I had a really nice conversation with a compliance officer who reviewed our website and found everything checking out. He's actually now going through everything in depth, just to make sure, but he's fairly confident that everything that we've got going on with AHP Profits is meeting full compliance. Everything's completely legal, and so he can definitely see this as being something that can be online for years to come without any risk of being shut down by any government. So I really like that. I really like to hear that things are fully compliant. And I'll tell you, I'm very humble and submissive when it comes to the laws. So if we find out that there's anything that is not compliant, we're going to make a change. We're going to make it fast. And we're going to make sure that we stay online for years to come, one way or another. So kind of go back to some of the questions that have been reached out. Can you give more clarity about the nature of the business? So how do we get revenue? And that kind of goes into what we've been talking about already on this webinar, is throughout the whole site there's advertising, and there's some really high quality, as we've been talking about how many visitors are coming to the website. So right now with how it works, not only are the revenues coming in through the directory listings, but we're also seeing them come in through email marketing. Not so many with those. There's the 728 by 90 leaderboard ads. There's becoming more of those purchased, and I've been seeing more and more people purchase last week who purchased again this week, and maybe they're not promoting the same thing, but they're buying again. So that means that they're happy with the results. So that's really good. There's also the purchasing of the 125 by 125 banner ads, those 468 by 60 banner ads that are showing on the surfing view bar right next to the countdown timer. So there's more and more people who are seeing that as a high value space, because there's a lot of eyeballs, as everyone has to click their 10 ads every single day through that rotation. There's people that are looking at that countdown timer, so having a banner right there, that catches people's attention. There's vacation mode. I'm seeing that also being purchased a lot more, especially as we're entering into the summer months. I know that my son gets out of school 1 week from today. So there's definitely going to be a lot more people who have children out of school. They don't want to be clicking ads on, even though it just takes a couple of minutes every day. There's people who would prefer not to have to worry about that, especially after doing that for so long it gets kind of monotonous. Who wouldn't want to take a little bit of a break? Especially if you got a lot of positions going through. $25 for a week. A lot of people say, hey, I'm making a lot more than that on a week, so $25, that saves me from having to ever click again. So that's something that we're seeing increase in sales there too. The auto repurchase for shares, that's another place where we're getting revenues. The easy bonds, we've also added additional banners. When you scroll down to the bottom, you might have noticed this when you're making a purchase, especially after it confirms your purchase, you're seeing that there's now a banner advertisement there. Think about all the people that are bumping their listings or making repurchases of one thing or another. There's now a 468 by 60 banner there, and that's just $12 a day to advertise there as well. So right now it looks like there's probably just one there, but that just really started today. So this is something that we're going to be looking at adding more and more revenue streams as we go forward, as well as you're seeing that with the forum coming tomorrow, there's going to be some additional revenue streams coming in there too. So that's where the transparency is with where are the revenues coming from to pay out the 125%. That's where it's coming from. All of these different services, and the people that are buying these services, they're rebuying because they are seeing the value in them. They're seeing some results. They're generating clicks to their website. They're actually seeing that it's better than where they're paying elsewhere. So those are some really good things. So that kind of gives you some specifics on those products that are generating the revenues. It says here, what's the difference between AHP Profits and companies like Banners Broker? I think we kind of went into that a little bit as far as the pay model. We're not saying we're going to double your money, and we're not giving you a set time or anything like that, but those revenues are live every 30 minutes, and some people are actually kind of addicted to refreshing their balances every 30 minutes, which adds additional value to that 728 by 90 banner inside of the member area, because there are a lot of people that are refreshing and seeing their balance, and right there is also a banner putting something. So the real difference between ad hit profits and something else out there that has stalled out, not paying, or there's all these earnings on accounts, is the money's coming in, then it goes to your account. We're not just adding numbers to your account. This is not some cyber money or computer money that some people might have coined the term there. This isn't computer money that's just fake and make-believe, and you don't know for sure, so you want to cash out, and now that you've tried to cash out, you're now waiting weeks or a month or 2 months, or in some cases with some of these opportunities out there, they're waiting over 6 or 7 months, and people are still promoting those types of opportunities. I don't know why some people are still trying to build their downlines in some of these things, and I think that's where there's a shift in the industry where they're saying, oh, these other places that I've been promoting for so long, they're not paying, and I've been waiting for 6+ months to get my payout, so I'm going to kind of shift gears to something that actually is paying and paying fast. And that's where ad hit profits right now is the perfect time to be involved with ad hit profit. Because you can kind of get out there and tell people, hey, are you getting tired of getting paid yet or not getting paid yet? Well, come join Hit Profits, where you're going to get paid today. You're going to get paid every 30 minutes to your account balance. Any sale that comes in. We're not going to give numbers to people's accounts unless it actually has been backed by real revenues. So that's where we kind of touch the base of how this isn't a pyramid, it's not a Ponzi, it's not a hype whatsoever. There's no interest that's being developed from any kind of investment. These are real purchases, revenues coming in, and what you're receiving on your account is absolutely real money that you can withdraw at any time. And so why advertise on ad hits? I think we've kind of gone into that a little bit, as well as there's so many visitors coming to our website. Just even refreshing now. Right now it's showing that there's been 161,000. So that was more than before. Is that within the last 24 hours, there's actually been quite a lot of unique people, different people. So these are people all over the world that are coming to Ad Hit Profits. So why advertise? All of these people are targeted for making money opportunities online. And so if you're promoting anything to make money, then this is a place for you to get your exposure to your advertisement. If you're a business owner trying to build anything to brand yourself, create and get some better results, because what your banner is going to be unique to you, nobody else. People want to click on it to see what's behind it. You're going to increase your click-through rate, and as people come to your website, if you've branded yourself as a leader, someone who's providing some real value, and they need to sign up for your list, you're going to see some good results from that as well, I believe. Do shares expire? The maximum is when you reach the 56.25, just like what Luther is saying. So there's going to be, it maxes out. So that's why people would really want to advertise on Ad Hit Profits. There was one leader who created a video, and I'll go ahead and post that in here too. He called it his secret marketing and money making weapon. And what he has tracked are the number of signups that have come through his directory listing, exceeding 4%. Now, if involved in marketing anywhere, like safe lists or traffic exchanges or anything like that, you know that anything above 2% opt-in rate is phenomenal. Anything above 3% is like, wow, that's a place where you want to advertise. He tracked over 4% coming in through from Ad Hit Profits. I had another marketer. He was showing me all of these different sites that he was marketing. And this other marketer, his name is Martin Paling. He's from the UK. He posted some stats. He said, here, look, here's traffic, Dr. Traffic. He showed 197 visitors coming in through his link and 0 signups. Ad Hit Profits, well, I'll save that to the last. He said, referral link. No, he just, maybe from an email or something. 13 people went through, 0 signups. Trackers.com, 0 signups with 8 visitors. Traffic2prosperity.com, 6 visitors, 0 signups. Now with Ad Hit Profits, he said there were 17 visiting through his listing, and of those 17 visitors, 2 people signed up to his list. And so he's tracking from that. There was 11.76%. So he was just like, oh my gosh, this is gold. So is he going to continue to advertise on Ad Hit Profits? Absolutely. You know, I think that pretty much answers why advertise on Ad Hit Profits, is because there's some real value in the advertising services that are being offered on Ad Hit Profit. The next question that was listed was, how is Ad Hit Profits different from any of the other copycats? Well, without giving a lot of the details with what these other opportunities are, I think that one of the things that really stands apart for Ad Hit Profits is the type of person that I am, for one. I think that a lot of these types of opportunities, I was on the phone with a leader earlier today who's involved in another opportunity on their webinar being chewed out.
Charles.
Did you have something that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak for you on behalf of you that is one of the biggest reasons that this is completely different and better than any other program out there, is because the owner and how transparent Charles is. Okay, I'm not being paid here to do this nor to say this about Charles. It's the way I truly feel that an owner of a business makes all the difference in the world. And Charles, you're the reason. And of course, I know all of us are doing our job, but an owner of a business makes a difference. And if anybody wants to know the reason that Ad Hit Profits is so much better than all the rest out there, that's the reason. I just had to say it, Charles. Your turn.
Thank you very much, Ernie. Because I really believe that's true. I mean, I know that there's blame or they are frustrated their members, and I mean, there's definitely, because of my history in customer service, training and skills when it comes to customer service work. I also been a person online too, struggling just to make that extra $1 a month, or just trying to make enough to be able to put food on the table, those types of things. From that point of view, I still speak from that point of view, because that's just, I want to be able to always be approachable and someone who's down to earth. There's some of these people, admins, and now they've set themselves up to being too good to interact with their members, and I think that's what really puts some different copycats. Now, another thing with the copycats, the way that they're structured internally is definitely different script, different things there. But I would definitely say that there's some good ones out there too. I mean, I don't want to tell them to join this and not, but definitely the more opportunities you're involved in, the more money you make, I think. I mean, especially if they're genuine opportunities, because the more that you're out there and involved in knowing what's out there, I think that's the best. But one great thing about this platform is it does help you build those other businesses. And of course, some of those other paid to advertise types of sites do the same thing. So I mean, use theirs to build this, use this to build that. I see no wrong in that at all. So the next thing is returns offered by Ad Hit Profits compared with other online programs. How do we differ? I think that when it comes to, I mean, if you're the thing that's kind of sad in some ways with, for example, versus the real thing, is people see copycats and say, oh, that's just a copycat, and they don't even want to get involved, which I totally can respect. I know that from my point of view, because I'm being copied, it's actually quite flattering, because I created this, you know, and I had to think it through and come up with something that you never know how something's going to be accepted by the industry until there. So knowing that it's being accepted is great, and then copied is like, oh, it's that good, huh? So I really feel great, for the copycats that they exist, but a lot of people, like what Junior's saying, is you're not going to copycat. Most people are joining because they see that something's successful, and sometimes those copycats are merely scammers who are seeing that there's a formula over here that's working, and they're just trying to use it, only benefit themselves. So it's something to be careful of course, if you're seeing a copycat. So I think that's where that kind of benefit the other online programs, how this compares. Is also with the sustainability. I know that there's a lot of other programs out there that offer higher returns and things like that, but I mean, when you compare something like this with those, I mean, you'll find that this is something that's probably going to outlast some of those other programs, and hopefully you'll see that the amount that you're making stays fairly consistent throughout time. So the next question here that was being asked of all these leaders is, why does Charles need money from us? How does this help him? Aren't I satisfied with finding customers to sell the space to and then just keep the profits to myself? My goal, here's a few different things, and this comes down to psychology. If I was to, for example, just start up a new forum on my own, then of course I would be seen as a copycat of a forum, and people are already saying I'm already a member of a forum. I don't need to be another member of another forum. So there wouldn't be a lot of value, and I would have to do all of the self-promoting myself, and that can cost a lot of money. Now when you have affiliates working with you, it's a whole different structure of how you do your business, because when you have that kind of a business model, you actually now have people out there also promoting with you, because now it's something that's going to benefit them. Anytime that you add benefit to anyone, it's going to raise their desire to be involved. They're now everyone's now helping in building something, and they're benefiting from it. I'm benefiting from it, and because of that symbiotic relationship, everyone's involved. Now, why am I a directory position? It's because of the traffic that's coming to the website. I mean, there is some real value there. You're getting some real visitors. Do I really need that? I think, see, that's where it kind of goes into this whole symbiotic relationship is, how do I attract marketers who are wanting to sell banner or buy banner space? How do I sell the banner space to them for money-making opportunities if I don't have people here who are interested in money-making opportunities? So it's kind of a solution to a catch-22, is if you first offer something of value that's going to deliver real results and offer them some kind of commission to sell what you're selling, then you get more people involved, and then also as the people get involved, it raises the value to the advertising space that you're selling. That brings in more and more advertisers as you have more and more people here looking at the ads. So that's where having this be something that people pay for, it gives greater appreciation, greater value, and has it be more of a vested interest, as people are now more desirous to grow this because they've also paid partially into the company themselves, and they're sharing in the revenues. So that's where I think that kind of answers that question. And it does turn it into more of a business opportunity that someone can actually start their own business. And it actually does save money. I mean, if you had to create your own website like this and create your own everything and make sure you've set up the right checkpoints and everything, you'd actually be spending more than just $45. So this would actually save you money if you wanted to get in business and start selling internet services or internet online. This saves you a whole lot of money and helps you make quite a bit more as well. People are concerned that AHP profit registered in the United States will be easily shut down. Examples, Zeek and Profitable Sunrise. What am I doing to make sure that I'm not closed down? For one, I would like to be absolutely transparent here. Is I am just using my, as a sole proprietor here in Utah, I don't have to be a registered company. I'm now thinking actually about because registering because I might need some employees, but until I have employees, I don't need to actually register as a company. So I'm just using my own Social Security number for tax purposes at this point. How am I making sure not to be shut down? I think it's very important that if you have ever been involved in one of these other money-making opportunities that have been shut down, to really do the research, dig down deep into why they were shut down. Because what you'll find is that they were not legal. They were not following a lot of compliance issues or compliance laws, and especially with Zeek, for example. Like I said, I was talking with a compliance officer, and he was giving me a lot of this inner scoop of what was going on with Zeek, is that they were receiving letters from the various different states departments and from the government and from the FCC and the SEC, and they also have verbiage on their websites and those types of things. You got to be really careful about the words that you're using on your website when you're with Zeek Reward. They were shut down because they were using the wrong verbiage. They fell under the SEC because of the words that they were using. And because of the words that they were using, they were not following the laws that were associated with those words that they were using. Also further tested and found that if everyone was to have cashed out, they wouldn't have had sufficient funds on hand to study. So they were determined to be a Ponzi scheme. I mean, not only were they not following certain laws, they were ignoring counsels that they were given. They were ignoring the letters that were sent to them. They thought they were maybe too big or too important or something like that. I take a much more humble approach, and that was one thing that this compliance officer was really great working with me and aiming to bring him on board as a consultant here very soon. I have another meeting with him coming up, making sure that everything is following all of the laws, being fully compliant, and that we're taking every measure to ensure that we are staying online for years to come, not just from a revenue standpoint, but a legal standpoint. We're going to be shut down for the government, and we're not going to lose, the advertisers. Hopefully, we'll continue to gain more and more advertisers, especially as we keep growing larger and larger. So I think that's where we really stand aside. And something like with Profitable Sunrise, that was definitely a Ponzi scheme. That's why they were given the notice of cease and desist, is because daily, and they were paying that percentage daily from new investors. And so that is a Ponzi scheme. So definitely with how we're set up, how we're actually splitting real profits, it's a revenue share. If you do any research, I highly recommend you do and find out all of the laws with revenue shares. We're following and meeting all of them. And if you look at all of the laws of reasons why people would be shut down, we're staying clear of all of those reasons. So I think that's where I could stand pretty confidently and say, if the government came in and inspected AHP profits, it would be an inconvenience to my day, but I'm not worried. And I know that there's a lot of program owners out there that are really mad right now at AHP profits. So I can expect that they might be reporting us, and we might see some of that going on. But I'm not worried because I'm following all of the laws. So I really hope that we don't ever have that happen, just because I would prefer to spend my day helping people than having to produce how everything is working on the back end. Because everything's working, of course, fully compliant. And there's just a lot of, as you already know, they're through a lot of purchases, lots of disbursements, lots of things going on. Some of these people who have many of referrals have pages and pages and pages and pages of commissions and notices. And so you can certainly recognize that with AHP profits, there is something real going on here, and it's not something that's a Ponzi, and it's not anything that has any risk of being shut down. But if you do come across a law that you're afraid or maybe concerned that I'm not following, please get it to me and I'll review it with you. And if it's not something that we're following, we'll make sure to change things and make sure we change them quick so we don't get shut down. Because I want to make sure that we're always going to you and everyone else. The next question is, Charles is running the whole show by himself. What happens to members if something serious were to happen to me? Like, what's my contingency plan? Well, I mean, that's a really good question. I've had that. I don't want to die. I've already worked through being sick. So, I mean, I've caught a cold. My son came home from school, and I was down and out taking naps and still making sure to catch up and keep up with all the payouts and tickets and the people on Skype. So I know that I can handle it if those types of things occur. Now, I have a sister who lives very close by here. There are information on my computer to give access to AHP Profits, the back end, and get processed. I think that if I were to die, it would be my dying wish to make sure that things would be handled, and my sister is the type of person who has always been there to help me out with a lot of things in my life. I feel confident that if I were to die, that she would come and make sure that things were handled. And she's a stay-at-home mother. She's got 4 kids, actually 5 now. She recently had a new. I feel that the program would still continue one way or another. And I know that when it comes to a lot of the support, some of the support's now going to be focused more in the forum. So members are helping each other. And that's one of the things I've been really grateful for about our Skype groups. If there's ever a time I've noticed, actually, really incredibly, they will ask a question, and I'll take a deep breath and say, I'm awake, I can answer this, and I'll notice when pencil starts going, and I see, wow, just answer the question. Can I just say, okay, it's being handled? And these are not even moderators that are answering questions, so members helping members who aren't even in each other's downlines. I just feel like such an incredible opportunity where, I mean, there's such a community here of love and support towards one another. It's just amazing. The next question is, where owners are using personal emergency to calm members down that often occur after a period of time. How isn't going to try to scam us to follow through those steps. Right back to what I was saying, is that money that's on people's accounts are fully backed up by sales revenues coming in. I think that if anything ever were to happen and I need to be away from my computer, let's say I needed to go on a trip for one reason or another. I know there's some leaders who have been asking me to come out and visit them in their countries. So if I needed to take a long flight, it was going to take all day, I would make sure to have instant payouts turned on during that interval, so that everyone would get paid instantly. That way, there would be no delays. I mean, those are the types of things that I would be using any reason for slow payouts. And I think that, what was it, last weekend when we're off track, essentially what had been hit by some traffic, and the site script wasn't optimized for that large amount of traffic. It's now since been optimized, so feel free to send as many visitors to the website as you want. That's my programmer's challenge to all of you, is just and I've been trying, and so far it's been staying up. So as far as those types of things, I instantly released a webinar, and I didn't just make some claims. I put some screenshots up there, and you saw some that were handled and some that weren't handled. When things went through, there was a burst. There was a burst of new revenues that just hadn't been processed before. So I think that's where people can see the difference here, is that when there's other admins claiming one thing and then there's no follow through, at least as has been absolute follow through. And so that's where I think that there's some real difference here. Will AHP Profits become a typical program? Well, I think there was someone in the forum the other day that said, "Oh, is everything running normal?" And someone corrected them and said, "Everything is running fantastic. Nothing is normal about AHP Profits." If we become normal, then I think that what we'll want to do is raise the bar yet again and do what we can to be more innovative, find something of more value, offer something better, and process something even faster and easier, and just make this something that's completely atypical. Hopefully, when thinking about typical, maybe they're thinking about slowing down payments or something like that. I think that when we reach to a certain size, we'll payments faster. Aren't auto payouts risky? Is the next question. They're not. There's a lot of websites that have been online for over 5 years. One of those, if you're familiar with the pay-to-click industry, is NeoBucks. Has been online over 5 years, has had instant payouts ever since. And they, of course, have certain rules set up. Now, one of the things that I might let you know of is because of the instant payouts, that will, of course, attract more scammers and fraudsters. So I think that if I did introduce instant payouts, then I might have it be something where people can receive payout once a week and wouldn't be able to receive payout until they had been at least a member 1 week or maybe 3 days, something like that, just to give chance to catch those fraudsters and hackers before they steal member money. There'd probably be some kind of check or balance put in, and I don't know what exactly those are. I've been given some thought to them. I haven't put solid, but I think that would probably kind of solve any concern there. Would there be any risk? There are some risks. There definitely are. And anyone who says that there's absolutely no risk, I guess, aren't telling the full truth. But that's where I kind of corrected myself is, yes, there are risks to that. And that's probably changed some of the payout rules to include, just to make sure to catch those fraudsters and hackers before they're able to run off with membership money. A weekly newsletter in the future, I would probably say probably not. I think that what I'd want to do is keep any news on that page pop when people log into the back office, mainly because that'll keep your inboxes free from clutter from us, as well as I'm recognizing as we get bigger and bigger, sending out emails are going to be slowing down. Emails, there's been some people have noticed that maybe they didn't get a purchase confirmation email. That's because there was a block of emails being sent out all at once. So I think that probably what we might do is actually shift away from even offering solo advertisement email. I did not expect to grow as big as we have, so I didn't expect to ever have to remove the solo advertisement email service. I think that'll be coming sometime soon, is to remove the solo service just to make sure that our servers don't get bogged down by trying to process all of these emails. Let me see, it looks like there might be some more questions. If I click the ads at a different time of the day, does it make a difference? No, not at all. I think that one concern is they don't want to miss out on any earnings. They don't want to have any gaps between the last time that they click. So you can certainly click earlier, and whenever you click 10 more ads, then that timer, that countdown, or that next time to click ads is going to be set forward 24 hours from that new time, whatever that time is. So if you clicked at midnight one night, and now you want to go to bed and it's earlier, let's say 7 or 8 o'clock at night, you can click at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and now say is going to be your next time. And so there certainly is these types of frequently asked questions. I would definitely recommend, if you have any questions before support ticket, to check the frequently asked questions. There's been some leaders, your frequently asked questions actually contain my question. There's a lot of websites that have frequently asked questions that just kind of make up with the, some supposed frequently asked questions. No, these are real questions that are coming in that are frequently asked. So it really is aimed to help answer people's questions before having to send in any kind of support ticket or ask anybody. Now the next question that's being asked here are, won't the profits of the company be diluted as more members come in to buy shares for profit? And I respect that concern, and that's one reason why we are adding additional services and adding the forum. which will hopefully, and just by just pure logic, I mean, in my opinion, my best estimation, by adding the forum, people will see a lot more value of going to the forum, and by more people going to the forum, they'll see more value to purchase the advertising services. And if that doesn't come from the members themselves, that's fine, because if you go to some of these popular forums out there, you'll already see that there's already banners and all kinds of advertising all over the place. So I think that when you start to see the pricing that's at these other forums and the pricing with AHP profits and the cost savings, I think we'll actually see increased numbers of purchases, because we actually do beat out these other sites with our Alexa ranking already. So I think that as we grow and continue to grow, that dilution, or that possibility of being diluted, is that crushed because of the number of members that we're going to have. Plus, switching over to the pay-per-click, there's people who pay a whole lot more as they are only paying for the clicks. And so we could actually see a lot of increased revenue there as well, as it starts to become as we shift over to that type of a plan. Let's see if I missed a trophy. Right now, as far as, since this is about withdrawal fees, I want to just explain fees. AHP profits only charges fees that are charged, if that makes sense. So for example, Solid Trust Pay and Payza, you'll notice that when you're making a purchase, there's an additional fee being added on, but not from Easy Bonds. That's because with Easy Bonds, the fee is being charged to the person who's sending the funds. So that's why there's no fee for making a purchase through Easy Bonds on AHP profits, dollars that you pay to Easy Bonds when you're making a purchase. Now on the flip side, it's actually reversed. There's no fees for withdrawing with Solid Trust Pay or Payza, because you're actually going to be charged a fee on your account when you receive those funds from Solid Trust Pay or Payza, and that's going to be at the 3.9% plus 59 cents if it's Payza, or if it's a personal account with Solid Trust Pay, it's 1.5% plus the 20 cents. So you're going to be getting one way or another. So I don't have to charge any fees. Every fee that's being charged with AHP profits is just to keep the whole process totally self-sustained. Because if I keep having all these additional fees that I'm catching up with, then that means that I'm sharing revenues that are not completely backed up by actual revenue. Make sure that the only fees that you're being charged from AHP profits are the fees that's being charged by any of the processors, if that makes sense. So I'm never going to add any additional fees onto you that I'm not having to pay, just to make sure that everything is self-sustained, like I said. Why? So the next question asked is why do it says maturity? I would probably say, why does it take maybe longer to reach a maximum on your share than it did before? Is because there was certainly an explosion. If you look at our from having like 0 members to having 2,000 members fast, like within a week. And so when you go through that kind of explosion and it's a revenue share model, you're going to start to see what was going on there, like what people have been saying on their blogs and things like that. Over 20% increase on their account daily. That's phenomenal. Making for some time, but it started to slow down, and so people were starting to get really concerned. Why is it slowing down? Why is it slowing down? Well, it is because we're reaching normal levels. I mean, 20% daily, that's just not normal. That's just not normal whatsoever. So if anyone had that expectation it would stay that high, that you had that expectation to level out and flatten out. And even that was before another boom of exploding growth, which has raised the amount people are earning once again. PayPal is a processor? No. And the main reason why is because I've dealt with PayPal before. One thing that I experienced was they are to deal with when you have chargebacks, and I'll tell you that hackers love PayPal because they know how to get into people. No matter how secure PayPal are, and here's an article I invite you to read, because this happened to me. And this happened to Derek Van Dyke, as well as if you click on that link and go down to the comments, you start to see a lot of people saying, hey, this happened to me too. A lot of people, this has happened to them, that just suddenly was locked up, frozen, due to no fault of their own. And that's what happened to me, no fault of my own. It was because of the fraudsters and the head of people. They limited the seller instead of fraudsters around that. PayPal, they will limit you as they freeze those funds for 6 months. Now, if we had all of members' earnings in PayPal, what would happen to AHP profits if all of those funds are locked up in PayPal? It would be exactly what would happen, like what all these other programs happen with LR or Liberty Reserve. All of a sudden the funds are gone, they can't pay out. Now everyone wants to get paid out through the existing processors. But the existing processors don't have the sustained funds on them because it's all locked up in PayPal. So that's why I would never get PayPal on the site. I wouldn't want to all of a sudden wake up one day and not my funds, but all of your funds really are all locked up in PayPal and I can't give them to you for 6 months. And then of course that gets around the industry. Don't get involved in AHP profits because you can't pay. See, and that's where I would have just wanted to say, I'm never going to get PayPal. I am looking at some additional options, but I really do like just the 3 that we have right now, mainly because within this industry, the most used processor right now is Solid Trust Pay. And if anyone has a website that processes payments between Visa and Solid Trust Pay, you're seeing a lot more coming through. I really love Solid Trust Pay. They've got lower fees and some of the people have noticed that within the last couple of years, Solid Trust Pay has really increased their speed in delivering money to you, to your bank, or in the mail in a form of a check. It's a lot faster. Good. Just a lot of people are now shifting over to Solid Trust Pay. Now, Easy Bonds is something that has been around for, it's not been highly used. Some people, I've been kind of being told from them that it's just being pay scale type of site. It's people that have pockets, government websites, are using time. Now Easy Bonds is trying to kind of branch out a little. Contacted me, Skrill. The thing is when you're choosing a payment processor, you really want to use something that's going to create either value for the business or create convenience or something that's being used by a lot of people. That's one thing about like Liberty Reserve. It just what really wasn't being used. Even though they're using it, a lot of the people that were using it were not being honest. There's some dishonest activity there. Of course, there were a lot of people who were honest, but it just came down to that a lot of the fraud that was coming in fact, all of it was pinpointed as going through Liberty Reserve. So I'm really glad that we kicked Liberty Reserve out 2 weeks before they were shut down, so we didn't have any concerns there. But processors, I've been speaking with some admins that have added iPay, and I asked them used by people, because I mean, when it comes to something like iPayout, you want to have fun people who want to be paid out through that option, and especially when you're giving back more than what's being paid in, keep a healthy flow of funds coming in through different processors. iPayout just isn't used very much, so you might bump into a scenario where somebody's paid in, maybe $900 through iPayout, and now they want to withdraw $1,300, and you don't have $1,300 to pay them because you're all out of funds through that processor. It's just not being used very much for purchases. And that's where I just kind of look at it with like Solid Trust Pay and Payza. They're highly used. Easy Bonds is something that's being used more and more. I'd like to see it used more and more myself, mainly because it does add additional revenue to be shared to all those who have been using Easy Bonds, even though right now there's been a little bit of a bumpy stage this last week or two because they've been switching over to a new clearinghouse. Those who use them or with other programs to their bank within 24 hours. And I think better than any other processor out there. So I mean, I think that's start using Easy Bonds, you're going to really fall in love with it and want to use it. In fact, there was one person who just actually today and yesterday switched over from Solid Trust Pay to Easy Bonds, and they're already just astounded, and they're just like, yep, this is my new processor. They love Easy Bonds. So I mean, if you haven't used Easy Bonds, I know it's hard to switch over to something new, but I think that once when you start to see the value and the benefit that it gives you personally, as well as the business and the company as a whole, I think you might actually start to experiment with it, and after you find yourself loving it all the more. I really like their customer service. You're getting tired, need to go to bed, but you cannot leave. Oh, I'm almost done. There's only a couple more questions here, so I'm going to wrap up and make this quick because I know that we've already been talking for quite some time. So thanks for everyone for hanging on. Any deterioration, as more members join in to answer that question. Yes, that would only be the only one handling support. With moving it over to the forum, there's going to be more support as it's becoming more of a community support, as well as the moderators will be just me. And then other than that, I don't believe, it says, I don't believe if you don't have much work to do. What does it say? I don't believe if you don't have to do too much work to do. Maybe this was just worded a little bit outside of my own way of thinking, but people who are surprised in the amount of time that they make money without doing very much, maybe. And I would just say that in some ways this might be seen as a passive income opportunity. I think that in a lot of ways what money, and then they're turning around saying, oh, and then it turns into an easier way to bring more people in, and actually bring more value, sell the services, to focus on the value that's being offered here, especially as, I mean, I know that when I first started with internet marketing, my hardest thing was finding valuable advertising that brought results. Much covers all of the, as far as that hit goes, what kind of things would I expect? Something wrong, just like what happened when the shares weren't dispersing. So I would make sure to communicate that accurately and get it resolved very efficiently. How many paying customers do we have now? Let me bring that up here real quick for you. And I'll give you the live number. And known this throughout our forums, or I mean with the Skype groups, is we've actually now paid over $2 million. We've paid out $2,204,803.69. So that's the total paid members, 9,751. So that's how many people. What about all the campaign? The information coming out, especially this next month, about Easy Bonds. And I also have invited an Easy Bonds representative, actually someone from within the company, to come and talk with us during another one of our webinars. And I think that just about does it. Now, before we close this out, were there any questions? Because I know that some of you guys are probably tired of sitting around. I know we've been a lot longer than I was expecting. And you're more than welcome to stick with Solid Trust Pay. There's no need to, I mean, there's not ever going to be a requirement to use Easy Bonds. Yep, that's right. Mark. just since April. It's your baby too. In other languages, met with the site into Portuguese. To get dual data, click on the Portugal translated. So that's coming soon. Splash page. Well, I don't have splash page. People are promoting to the advertising on our website. And so lead capture pages or splash pages, I've seen a number of leaders share them with they've made. You're more than welcome to make that kind of a thing. But the main reason why I haven't done anything like more and more visitors on our website, it adds to the value, it increases our all those types. Okay, so you switched IP protection on. Guys, see the thing is with the IP protection is it actually is now synchronized to your IP. So situations, if your PC is within your same house, the same IP address, like if you go on to Google, what's my IP? Each computer should be using the same, so you shouldn't have to unless maybe you're in your IP address around. And so if you're not on a static IP through your internet service provider, then you might have to reconfirm yourself each time that you log in. And that's just immediately go to your email inbox or maybe your spam folder, click on that link, and log in. You might find your browser, because sometimes some browsers have browser settings that interfere with that particular firewall settings or the add-on ad blocker. If you have ad blocker, just make sure to disable that because that's prohibiting and interfering with some things on ad hit profits. So here, I don't know if Charles can see them. I'm trying to follow along. If I miss your question, please. Charles, can you set up another Facebook profile, please? Another 5,000 people. That's probably, I don't know. I have enough. Oh, it's funny because Skype, I have people submitting support tickets all every which direction, so it's hard to keep up sometimes with everything. So maybe if I set up another Facebook profile, it would just cause another additional place where people are sending. So I'm trying to just have one place where people go. Opinions is my opinion. Solid Trust Pay is it better in security? I haven't really noticed from one processor, but I've these things over the last couple of years. Strengthen their security. I definitely know that they've got a couple of loopholes that some hackers and fraudsters that Solid Trust Pay doesn't have those. Definitely, that's I think one reason why Solid Trust Pay is a little bit more, I don't know, better than Payza, but Payza definitely has a lot of strong advantages there as well. There will be additional languages in the forum, absolutely. They are already being built in, but that's where it comes down to having moderators for different languages. So if you want to be a moderator, please let me know. And that way I can make sure that you have because I definitely want to help make sure that they speak. Need a secretary. You might be right. So far, the delays, people, especially, we've had a big boom of explosion by going to the website or checking out the frequently asked questions. So it has slowed down some of my response times, and I'm really sorry for those who have messaged me on Skype today. I've been catching up on this Facebook. I actually caught up on Facebook this morning. Surprisingly enough, I did not think I was going to see the end of Facebook. I'll tell you, that was really there. Hopefully, if you only submit it one place, so that when because if you submit something on Facebook, please, I would recommend Skype as being the easiest way, except for today. There's a lot of people that are submitting all these questions every which direction, and it's bogging it down. So if you ask a question, only ask it once if you could. That's right. The frequently asked questions answers people. If I answered everyone everything and it took me a minute, it would actually get to everyone. Looked at, then their questions would be answered a lot faster. And let's see. Portugal will be privileged, absolutely, and Brazil. And of course, we'll want to probably add more languages in the time. Where's my programmer located? He's use your phone. From a lot of the hackers and things like that, they don't have access. I mean, there's not any that I know of, any malware or spyware that would be for phones. What's the Skype link? There's a number. Zinc's website section there for Skype, and you can click on that link, and it provides a link to all of the. We're pretty much full. Webinars. Just to let you know, next week's webinar will be on a GoToWebinar, and those links will be offered actually on that news pop, and so everyone will have at least a day's notice, and that way you'll be able to. Everyone will be able to get there, and I'm starting out with a 500-seat webinar there, and they've actually assigned me an account manager over there at GoToWebinar, which if we end up having too many people that fill up more than the 500 seats, then we can get some more. We can get bumped up to the next level quick. Let's see. That's a good recommendation, Lewis. There's definitely a lot of people that just want to hear, and I like you all too. I think I've met a lot of really great people already with AdHit Profits. All of you guys that I've had conversations with, I've thoroughly enjoyed them. And if you have a question that can be answered by someone else, maybe get to one of those Skype rooms and see if someone else has the answer. They've faced it as well, and be able to get you. That's not a bad suggestion, John. Thank you for that. You know, with the back office, there's already a lot of links, and somebody actually told. So I'm trying to keep things. Live event plans about some live events. I was speaking with a leader actually today about a live event and projecting some of the things that he envisioned what it might be like. And so I've been bouncing around some ideas about some live events. Just to let you know, if we had to split the revenues for a revenue stream, and it wouldn't just definitely want to make sure that people that have gone to live events for other companies, and all it is just rah, we can do it type of things, and when they get out of it, they're like, yeah, we can do it, but do what? I think that when people would leave a live event that I would put on, I would want to make sure that people have a clear vision of something that they can start doing more of, that can increase better results. Because I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, of course we can do. Come around from some of these type of events about not doing anything, and it looks. All of the questions. I want to thank you all. To close us out.